I decided, since I'm doing a lot of videos about gang stalking, my experience with it, I'm going to start from when I noticed it until this present day. Before I do that, like usual, I would just like to invite the Holy Spirit in to open my mind, open my memory, share experiences that would make sense to some people, and help anyone that might be going through this, giving them strength to not give these people what they want. And I do that in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. So, this all started, I started to notice it last October of 2023. And it started, like, there were things that happened before I realized something was going on that I didn't think it was gang stalking. I thought it, like I've said before, I thought it was the company making sure that they hired good drivers. There were some things that happened right before that now, looking back, were most likely the start of this. Okay, so where I was working, there was a man camp, which is like, but it was nice, man. It was big. It was like a hotel, but made out of a bunch of man camps. And basically, what a normal man camp is it's one of those like sea containers built into like a house. That's what it looks like, at least, with like a bedroom on the end, with bunk beds, and right by that is like a shower, and then your kitchen, and then the door to go out. But this one was a bunch of those, and they only put together, like, there was a kitchen. It was huge. It was like, looking at it on the outside, you're like, dude, what is this? It don't really matter, but it was nice. Like, the company did a good job with that. So I'm there, and the maid, the first day I'm there, she's really sweet. Somewhat attractive, older, Hispanic lady. Really, actually, she was attractive. Really sweet the first day. And I'm saying this for a reason. Like, the walls are really thin in there. So like if I'm watching TV in my room, and let's say the guy by me doesn't have his TV on, it doesn't even have to be up loud, and like he could hear it. Now, that being said, my first night there, like, is when I was in the middle of really working on my walk with God, watching videos that inspired me to get started with knowledge, and that's basically all I would watch when I was going to bed. And then I would study it. There's like a little built-in desk, and I would study at it. And when I would study at it, I would open my blinds. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I don't. I'm just telling you what I'm thinking. Maybe this is it. Maybe they saw that I was a believer in Christ. Well, from what people say, they just see it. They can feel it off you. So I don't know. Now, I had said that the lady was really nice. After that first day, she became like real short and just kind of like short, and just like she didn't have time for me, And it's not like I would try and talk to her at all. It's just, for instance, I asked her where the laundromat was, and it was like it irritated her, okay? And then after that, like, there was nothing I really noticed. Shortly after that, we went from a little town called Wright, Wyoming, to the capital of Wyoming, which is still small, Cheyenne. Now, this is where things got worse. But like I said, at the beginning of the whole time I was there, I didn't look at it in a spiritual way. I wasn't there yet in my knowledge. Like I've mentioned before, it started with, well, now looking back, it started with the like the employees, okay, being super rude, and I chalked that up to, like I said, this was like, other than, and they probably weren't, some of them were a part of it, but maybe they didn't know. I don't know, dude. But this was a nice hotel that we were at. Like, nice. Like, everybody that was in there that went there was like in fancy clothes, and it was a little America in Cheyenne. And honestly, I mean, it's the nicest hotel I've ever been to. So I chalked it up to that. Because there was a bunch of us in that hotel, man. The company, like I said, hired a bunch of drivers because they went from hauling crude oil to hauling frac sand. And to get this contract, they hired a ton of drivers. So we basically, I think we filled up like 3. So the way the Little America is set up is it has like buildings with rooms in it. And there's a bunch of them. We probably filled up like 3 of those buildings. I don't know. So the way I took it is these high-class people are looking down on us because, you know, we're truck drivers. We're blue-collar workers. Like, they ain't got time for us, you know? That's how I took it. Because the employees were so rude, dude. Like, I don't know if it was just to me, because I'm not one to, like, complain about it. Or, like, you know, I don't know. I just didn't talk about it to other workers. So, like, I'll give you an example. My ex and the kids were coming down. So I asked for a roll-out bed and some extra blankets. This, like, with the complete attitude. Does your boss know about this? I'm like, yes, but in my head I'm thinking, what does this matter to you? Okay, whatever. She might be doing her job, like, making sure that we're following the rules. I don't know. So I let it go. Now, I got extra blankets, but not a rollout bed. I asked for towels that were right there. This woman that was working the desk could have easily got them. To be told, because it was my ex and our 2 kids, so we were going to go to the pool. To be told to go wait in our room. It took like an hour and a half just to get extra towels. Things like that. And just like looked down on. Then I started to notice the thing in traffic. Give you an example there. The first thing I noticed, and this is what made me think that they were hiring people to make sure that we were decent drivers. I'm on I-80. And I think it's like Wardwell. I can't remember the name of the exit, but it's going towards the Nebraska border. You go all the way through Cheyenne, you pass the truck stop, you go all the way, and it's like the last exit. Like, you go through Cheyenne, you go a few miles, there's an exit. You go a few more miles, there's another exit. It's that second exit that's like outside of town. You come to a stop sign as you're exiting to a road, right? Obviously. And on your right, there's a curve that you cannot, like, you can't see, it's so sharp, like you can't see the car until it approaches the curve. Well, it seemed like every time I was at that stop sign, I wouldn't see a car, and the minute I pulled out, a car would just haul butt. So I would like, and I would either like stop, have time to stop, and then just let them go, or I would be to the point to where stopping wouldn't matter, like they weren't going to be able to get around me, so I just keep going, and then they would come and like right up to the back of my trailer, like I just ruined their day, you know, going like that. So that's where I started, and then so it goes from that to this is on the way to location when this would happen. On the way out of location, this same road, but instead of using the off ramp, I was getting onto the highway using the on ramp. Dude, so many times, times it stood out to where this is completely not normal. There would be a car parked on the shoulder of the off ramp with its hazards on, and the minute I passed it, they would start following. And maybe I'm just stupid, I don't know. Because in my head, maybe I should have been like, well, if a company's going to do this, don't you think they'd want to try and be like a little undercover? And I would even say like out loud, like, so hoping they could read my lips, like, these guys suck at their job. You know? So it goes from that, from the sharp turn, to them being pulled over on the on-ramp to the highway with their hazards on, me passing, to then, like, right when I pass, they go. To now, it's progressed. I'm not saying now. It's progressed from that to being manipulated in traffic. Meaning, I would be going down I-80, I-25, with the speed limit being 80 miles an hour, and I would have a car in front of me doing like 55, 60. And then I would have a car to my left doing like 55, 60. So I couldn't pass. And this is when I start thinking, okay, they're probably making sure that we don't have road rage. So I'm going to be calm for about a week. Huh. And then I started getting pissed. I would like flash my hazards, let them know that I knew when I was doing completely what you're not supposed to do because I didn't have this knowledge. So it goes from that to, and the other weird thing is at this same hotel, there was a bunch of people that would come for training. And none of them would like, I would try and conversate with some of them, just like walking or whatever, back to my room from my truck or getting off, whatever. And they would never give me a clear answer on what they were there to do. Like what they were trained, like what job. Ever. None of them. And there was this girl that was kind of attractive, but I was in the process of working things out with my ex, and honestly, like, I had tried a few things when I first got there, but then after that, like, I was done with even trying to date. Like, I was like, in my head, I was like, if it's not her, it's no one. Like, I'm not in the space to even be looking for a relationship right now, because it wouldn't be fair to any woman, because I was still in love, and I still am with that person. But like I said, that person don't exist. So there was this cute little blonde, and the first time she walks by me, the first few times, she's like smiling at me, like kind of, you guys will know what I'm talking about, like in a complete flirty way, like she wanted me, and I'm not, that's just the way it was. Like, she made it obvious. And then it went from that to like her glaring, straight glaring at me, okay? So there would be a lot of times I couldn't go the speed limit on the major highways like I-80, I-25, but then when we would exit going from Cheyenne to Yoder, where I'm going now to load from Douglas, we would exit and go on like this back highway. I forgot exactly what it was called. But that's where like it was more aggressive. Like, people would literally pass me and pull, but where you could pass, and then slow way down when you couldn't pass. And they would make it a point to go really slow right as I was coming to a hill. And any truck driver know that's a pain in the... I mean, I don't mind driving a truck. I can shift gears just fine and do all that. The problem is getting your speed back up, man. All the time, this stuff would happen. Like, I had been driving for a while at this point, and yes, there are people that are just jerks and don't like truck drivers, So I've dealt with it, but not like this. Not like every day, all the time. It goes from that to... now I'm having a hard time sleeping because I get neighbors that are just loud and obnoxious all night. It was to the point to where, like, my ex was, she cried one time because I was talking to her and made this right here, this situation, maybe that was paranoia. What I'm going to say, it sounds like it was. It was, but I had a reason for it at the same time, to where now I've grown way out of that. But at the time, I didn't want to talk to her I'll just tell you what it was. It was money. Like, even though it was my money that I had sent to her, there would be times I would run short and I would have to ask her to send me a little bit back. So, and I was just, I was still really trying to get to know God, but I had a lot of pride in me. And I was afraid these people would hear shit like that. Excuse my language. So, like, there was a time I'm on the phone with my ex, and she was irritating me because, like, I had told her this was before she got to see what was going on. I had told her what was going on. And I was hinting at her and why I didn't want to tell her, because what I did is I texted her and I asked her to send me a little bit of money. And I called and I asked her if she got the text, and she said yeah, or she said no. I said, okay, can you read it? She's like, well, why can't you just ask me over the phone? And I'm like, I just don't trust that. Like, can you read it? And she drew it out, which in response, I got frustrated. And I'm like, can you please just put it in your head? Think about what we've talked about, okay? Think about what we've talked about, and can you read the message? And she starts crying, and then I feel bad. And I'm like, what is wrong? What did I do to make you cry now? And she's like, nothing. It's just, like, I think it clicked with her. Because she's like, it's just, I'm not happy here. She had, like, a court date coming up for custody and a court date for the child endangerment charges, all that. It was, like, writing this, like, she was getting ready to go do this stuff. Oh, plus, she got arrested for complete bullcrap. Like, she got arrested for not going to a court date that she didn't even know about, that her public pretender didn't tell her about. And luckily for her, that was resolved the next day at court. Like, the public defender admitted she'd made a mistake. So she's going through all this. She's going through, like, so we're like working on getting back together, and like, I would tell her things like, even if we aren't together, the kids need to be home, at their home. I was like, when I come to town for Christmas, I'll get a hotel. That can be your home, but they need their stable environment. So, like, I was always pushing her to do that, too. So she was just going through a lot of stuff, right? And she just starts crying. And she's like, well, you're going through this, you're not happy, and I'm going through this, and I'm not happy, and it just sucks. And now that I look back, it's things like that. I'm not saying she is, but it's things like that that make me wonder, like, if she was a part of this and then was feeling guilt, like, before she completely changed, like, was feeling bad, that, like, maybe I'm completely wrong, but, like, how she just started crying like that was weird. So, like, I'll look back and be like, was she crying because she was a part of starting this gang stalking crap, and now she sees how it's affecting me and she feels bad? I don't know. Is it possible? Yeah. Is it a fact? Absolutely not. So, I'm talking to her on the phone one time, and this is something I want them to hear. I say, if at work, that's one thing. Just like with my kids, when they followed me when we took our kids to go play. I said, if this crap goes on at home, I'm gonna lose my crap. And that's when I started to get, like, I started to do exactly what they wanted. I started to give them the exact responses that they wanted. Now that I've gained knowledge. So, I noticed a lot of these license plates were like Nebraska license plates. Or Colorado. Now, I'm going to be honest, obviously, Colorado, Nebraska's on the border. But it seemed like all the ones that were, like, making me slow down, not able to pass, were always either Nebraska or Colorado. So, this is on my way home. My ex comes down again with the kids to pick me up. We're going home, and I get that feeling. my opinion, the Holy Spirit, like I'm being followed. And not only am I getting that feeling, it was dark when we left. And if my ex watches this and she don't remember, I had adjusted the mirrors and she asked, she said, what did you do that for? I said, because when you point your mirrors out, if their brights are on, especially in a semi being high up, if you point them out and tilt them the right way, it shines the lights back in their own face. I do that, you know, because it was like in an obnoxious way, like they were really close to me with their beaming. So I do that. It turns daylight. We approach Glen Rock. Cheyenne's like 2 hours and like 45 minutes from Casper. Glen Rock is like 20 minutes from Casper, okay? I approach Glen Rock. I notice the same group of cars behind me. So I'm like, I'm going to pull off at this exit and act like I have to pee. Well, I did have to pee. But I'm like, we all had to. I'm like, I'm going to see if any of them exit. Sure enough, I pull off. 2 of them exit. 2 of them keep going straight. And I'm still in the mindset that it's this company. Did they start it? I don't know. Probably not. But I know that there were... this is when workplace mobbing started as well. Like, this is when... I said that this has never happened before. And what I mean is to the extreme it's at right now. But when I was there, it was happening. And now that I look back, it was happening for sure. Give you a couple examples of that. There was a road at one of the locations with a steep hill. And right at the top, I knew how to drive though, I'm not being cocky. Like it seemed like someone would always try and slow me down on that hill in ice, trying to get me to miss a gear and then get stuck. Here's one example of how they would do that. But I could shift down to all the way to low and keep momentum. Here's how they would, one way that they would do that. An employee, the rule is, like I've said before, the empty trucks are supposed to pull over before the loaded trucks. The road I was on, there was plenty of room for this guy to see me coming in. I knew this guy didn't like me from day one because we were at a meeting and he was just glaring at me. I'm coming up this hill and I just get to where I have to turn. What do you know? He pulls out right in front of me at the perfect timing to make, because this turn you had to pull all the way out into the road and turn wide so you wouldn't hit the stop sign to make the right-hand turn. So he pulls all the way out into the road to make his turn. I had to stop. It's icy, pure ice. I'm pulling like 60,000 pounds in my trailer. My truck's like this. Things like that. Or I would be sitting there on my phone at location and I'd look in my mirror and there would be this huge, that sounds judgmental, this really overweight lesbian girl that's like 4 foot tall. Her and a few other girls that would stand at the back of my truck to where I could see them in my mirror and they could see me through my mirror. All the time. Okay? But I didn't really... I just took it as people being jealous because I had experience. And like one thing I noticed is like I would be the only one at location that would get out and like, right now, dude, something's going on. There's this car pull over with their hazards and there's cars to my left that are all gonna pass me. And they waited till this moment. It's all the time. Anyways, so where was I at? What was I saying? It was things like that. But I didn't have the knowledge I have now. I hadn't learned about workplace mobbing. I hadn't learned about any of this stuff. Oh, that's what I was saying. I was the only one that would get it, like we'd be on location. And the company I worked at before this, like that's where I learned almost everything. That's like I learned how to be like a real driver. like service my truck, really inspect it by getting underneath it and greasing every Zerk fitting and doing all that. So I was used to being that kind of worker. Meaning with the weight, like one of the things I would do that we were taught at the last company is with the weight that we haul in the roads that we're on, the dirt, just rutted out trash roads, they wanted us to check our tires a lot to make sure we didn't have a flat. I've been with trainers at this company and the last company I was at. That's like I've been the person they're training, and I've pointed out I've noticed I've caught flat tires. So I'm thankful for learning this. You would think with common sense I would have came eventually anyways, but I didn't really even know how to check wheel seals at this point. So what we were taught was every time we got to location, get out, walk around your truck, do a tire check and a wheel seal check, meaning tap on your tires, get under your trailer, look in the back of your wheels, make sure you don't see any fluid, make sure you don't see any fluid on the front of your wheels, which is your rim. So I would do that, and I was thinking it's because, like I said, man, in trucking there's a lot of people that don't really take care of themselves. For one, I thought it was because I like to eat my haircut, I like to keep my hygiene up, and I was doing that. Like I would get out and check the truck every time, and I was the only one that would do it. So I figured maybe that they were taking it like, oh, this guy's better than, like, holier than thou type, like, when that's not it at all. Like I was just working. You know, for one, it's so boring sitting there waiting to offload, and sometimes it would be a really long time. It was so boring. And I have to be moving to, like, I don't know, man, it's just me. So I took it as that. Back to us, me leaving there and getting back to Casper. I noticed it the whole time, and it just gets worse. Give you an example. There's a hotel called the Come On Inn, right by where I live. And where we lived, they called it a community. It was a trailer park. It was brand new. It used to be Tweakerville Central, but they completely redid it, put new homes in, brand new homes. We were blessed enough to be able to do that for a minute. Like, we were buying it. But I was pulled out of that situation for a reason. Like, that was God. So every time I would be leaving the community, I'm just gonna call it a trailer park, there would be someone in there that would be leaving at the same time, whether it was from our exit or the exit a little bit further down, as well as every time someone would leave to Come On In, the hotel. And to Come On In, where my house was, the parking lot, you could easily see, right? Like my driveway in my home, easily see it from the parking lot of this hotel. There would be a car pulling out of there every time. Every time I was coming home, there would be a car pulling out of the Come On In parking lot, to the point to where they would make it so obvious. They would do that and then turn into my community, the trailer park, right where I was turning. It was like so in your face, you know? But I'm paranoid schizophrenia. It goes to that. Okay, so it goes from that to now, like at night. I never pointed this out to my ex. For one, I knew, like, I talked to her before and I could tell she just, like, didn't care. And her hearing was bad. And I think these people knew that. To try and make me look crazy. Because we would be laying down at night, and like I've talked about on my truck, they'll come and tap. I have a video on Facebook I shared last night of them tapping on my wall, but loud as crap. They would tap on the back of my wall, like right where I lay. Outside, there'd be a tapping. Okay? And we had a it came with the home. There was a staircase built at the back door out of wood, but you know, you could pull it. I thought it was like nailed to the home. I came to find out it wasn't. You pull it away. How did I find this out? With my two kids. And my thought was, what if one of our kids, because they went out all the time and sometimes they went to that door, what if they were open that and not notice that and fell through? They moved the stairs like a foot and a half from the house. That's not something I imagined. I Go to open my back door one day to mow the lawn and go out and notice it was moved like a foot and a half. And the tapping was consistent. It went from that to the hoods. Every time I would leave my house, a hood would be up and it would slam. As soon as I'd shut my door, it would slam. I don't know if this is code, like to let other people know I'm leaving or whatever. Okay, I would be coming home, like I've mentioned before. I've already told you about the hotel activities and people leaving there, pulling in the... As this was going on, I would get home, the hood would be up again. The minute I would walk into my house, it would slam shut. I came home with my 2 kids, and I thought this was my ex, but now it probably wasn't. I came home, every gas turner, igniter, whatever you want to call it, on the stove was on. Like to where I opened the door and it like burnt my eyes. Even my kids were like, what is that smell? I was like, you guys go outside now. Because they like ran inside in front of me. They were excited for something, I can't remember what. And then they ran out. What is that? So I walk in and I'm like, you gotta be kidding. This same night, my son's a little investigator, by the way. You'll see why. This same night, so I turn them off, I turn on the fan, we air the house out, and we go inside. This same night, my daughter comes in. She's like, Dad, my window's broken. I'm like, what? I go in, I see your window's broken. Automatically, I knew it was these people. I thought it was my ex. That's what I thought. Because this was the night, like right before this is when she left. So that's why I thought it was a stove, and that's why I thought she did the window. Well, I just think it's broken. I don't investigate. My son, bless his heart, investigates, man. He's like, Dad, he says, my ex's boyfriend's name. He's like, I think so-and-so and so-and-so did this, meaning my ex and her boyfriend and my ex. I'm like, why? He's like, because there's gold BBs in the window. And my ex's friend's boyfriend, he said his name, he has gold BBs. I'm like, dude, thank you, little bro. Like, I wouldn't even know. You know? It's how oblivious I was. So my window gets shot out right after all the gas in my house is turned on, okay? And then the following just gets worse and worse and worse. And I would ask people in a nonchalant way. I would be like, and a lot of these people I know were the friends of my son's friends. Like, they would be my son's friends' moms that my ex would know. I don't know if they did that, like, to cause tension, to make me think it was her. I don't know. Or if she was a part of it. I don't know. But I know that some of these people were at least associates of her. And I would say things like, seems like I see you everywhere I go. And they would just smirk. Okay? Or I would say things like back before I knew I was doing exactly what they wanted, I would do things like, oh, you having fun? You enjoying this? You getting a kick out of it? Use this against me. I don't care, man. This crap really happened. I had a right to poke back a little bit. I didn't get violent. There was one time that a certain situation happened that this guy was too weak. He was acting like his girlfriend was like keeping him from doing something type thing. A little boy. Sorry, that was judgmental. But it's hard, man. It's hard not to be dealing with this kind of stuff. So, but other than that, like, I've never been violent. I've been like cocky, like trying to push buttons like they do, but never violent. And the last situation that I'm getting a mental health evaluation for, well, I wasn't cocky, violent at all. Screw it. You know what? Maybe I kind of was, because I said, does Does your job make you feel like a real man? So whatever, dude, but I'm telling you guys all this, and now I have proof, like, just of a little tiny bit of what happens every day, every single day of my life. I have proof. So, like, that's how it started, dude, and it's just, like, some days it's worse than others, and I noticed, like, now that I've said that, I think that I've heard that Freemasons participate in this, and there's a video I shared yesterday on here, as well as I shared it on Facebook, that I think is the most important video anyone could ever watch. It's long. The guy looks like he might not be the most believable person, but I'm telling you, give him a chance, and as you go through, you will see he has proof for everything he says, everything. So, yeah, dude, and we're here. Like, I'm here. It's still going on. The vehicle stuff, the tapping on the doors, the messing with my truck, the rocking my truck when there's not a gust of wind in sight, the just gang stalking, man, harassment, workplace mobbing. And from what I know is the handler or whatever, the way it happens is they go to people and say some crap about you and then pay them to participate in this. Is that true? I don't know. But are these things happening? Absolutely. And now I have to get a mental health evaluation. Would any of you, whoever sees this, be concerned? If you have failed 2 UAs, did you know for a fact you didn't smoke THC and you failed for THC? You know 100% there's no way that should be in your system, and it happened twice, 2 different times in a row. Knowing that this guy can either put you back in jail or give you more classes, taking more time away from your work, and having to spend more money, like, and then not even wanting to hear your side of the story, just believing what he's told, and you testing the waters, trying to explain a fraction of it to him, and the first thing he says is exactly what everyone says law enforcement will say to you. You're paranoid schizophrenia. Would anyone else be concerned? Yeah, I was. I am. So that's where I'm at now, man. And I just wanted to kind of get you guys to know me a little bit, whoever watches this. And there's a couple shorts I'm going to post to anyone that's not on my Facebook of what happened today at work. When I get time, it's, it's real. I'm not imagining it. Am I paranoid? Absolutely not. Am I the most peaceful I've ever been? Absolutely. Did that take time to get here? Oh yeah. And do I have days where I'm down or not feeling as happy as I was the day before? Yeah, man, who doesn't? But inside, like I've said, dude, it's quiet, it's calm, and it's peaceful. And I love that. And no one's gonna take it from me, dude. No one's gonna manipulate me. Because I know what's going on. And I know it's spiritual. It's more than just what you see on the outside. This is a spiritual thing. Whether these people are willingly participating in things like witchcraft, which I know some of them are, but some of them may not be. But they are being controlled by a spirit inside of them. Who would do this? Like, would anybody in their right mind bully and attempt to destroy someone's life or ruin their career, ruin their job for money? Would a normal person, would like a good person do that? No. No. Not a good person. Maybe normal, like today's normal, yeah. But not a good person. So that's my story, man. That's from when I started noticing it to this present day. I'm not making any of this up. It took look, oh my gosh, I made a video earlier for a reason. That's that green semi I was talking about. I'm right here. Wow. I made a video earlier because this is the workplace mobbing. I pulled into location, this guy's in front of me. I had to wait like 30 minutes. He offloads, leaves. I wait for him to pass me, I enter location. I had to wait like 30 minutes for a fuel truck. I get, maybe he had the fuel, whatever. That's why I said I'm gonna do this, what I did. That's why I was sitting there and I was able to record a couple other videos I recorded. I'm sitting there, he offloads way before me, leaves. I'd sit there for like 30 minutes and wait on this fuel truck. Get offloaded. I stop, take my time, get some food, just to see. I took like way longer than usual to get to this place, to load out, from location. What do you know? I pull up, he's on the scope. There is not a truck besides him at this place. And I know that he was not waiting in line because there was not one truck that was coming the opposite direction when I was going there. And now he's right in front of me. Right in front of me. After, I was like, okay, maybe he had to stop and fuel. Who knows? That could happen. I'm trying to be open-minded. So I wait a good amount of time just to see. And this is the crap they do. He makes sure to wait until I'm on the exit so he knows I can see him. And then starts going to location in front of me. It's all to mess with you up here. As I'm making this video, what you guys don't know is I tested this. I did things to see if this would happen. To take my extra time, just like I did on the way there. And what do you know? He's right there, man. These people are sick, dude. Like, I want to look at him with love, like I've said, and I want to do what God calls me to do and be an example of what a true disciple is. But it gets hard, dude, when you notice stuff like this, especially when you're a man and you like, there's ways to deal with things as men, and then dust off your hands and be done with it. But would I do it? Absolutely. Now, no, because I know most likely it'll be recorded, and the things that I have tested today to know that this guy is messing with me, that wouldn't be shown. What would be shown, just like videos that are out there of me right now, what would be shown is my reaction to the narcissistic abuse, called reactive abuse. Is it an excuse to get out of line? No. But now, like, that's helped me not react, That's helped me. Because I want to, man. There's times I want to be. Just because I think it's so wrong. Like, you're going to sit there and bully me like this. How about you physically bully me? You might win. That's how, like, if I knew what wasn't going on, that's how I would be. Would I ever do that with my kids? Absolutely not. No. They have nothing to do with this. What I'm being punished for. You know what? Meaning I can't talk about it. So I'm going to leave it at that, man. That's what's happening. And I'm going to add to this next video with this truck. So yeah, I'm going to get off here and wait to get to this guy in location, make another quick little video of that to show that I'm not crazy. I'm not paranoid. And I know it sounds crazy, but if anyone ever comes up to you, family member, friend, whatever, and tells you about something like this that they're going through, believe them, man. Give them a chance. Because it's happening to so many people, dude. More and more are coming out about it each and every day. So many people it's happening to. And we all have the same, like, experiences. Believe them, man. Try and help them. And try and get a group together to expose these people. Dude, I have no one here. And that's who they like to target. They like to target people who don't have a big support system, many positive people in their life, lonely, not lonely, I'm not lonely, but, you know, alone, dude, that's me, to the T. To the T. Because they know it's more dangerous, and they won't do it to someone with like a big family that's around their family all the time, that is in the same town as their family, that they're not going to do it to someone like that. It's sick. Try not to be judgmental. And anyone going through this, man, they want your reaction. Don't do it. I had to learn the hard way. But I'm glad I did, because all of this has molded me into the man I am now, and the man I'm going to continue to be through growing. And I mean be in a better way. Like, I don't want to just sit here and be... Am I a good man that I can look at the mirror and be happy about? Yes. But do I want to stop here? No. I want to grow and learn and become better every day for the rest of my life, dude. I think that's the way it should be. I think that's what we were designed to do. Like, that's what God had. That is what, not I think. That's part of God's purpose for us, dude, is to learn, to grow. I don't care if you're 80 years old. There's always something to learn. But I hope no one ever experiences this. I'm just documenting my journey, like I've said, in an attempt to, for one, to show people that this is real. For two, for one, to help others that might ever come across this, man. And for two, to show people this is real. And I've gotten to the point to where even though I'm taking a risk about the things I talk about, them using it for ammunition, oh, see, it's crazy, showing it to the count, CWCC, whatever, dude. I don't care. I've gotten to a point where even through all that, like, I enjoy it. Like, it's a way for me to vent, to talk about it and get it off my chest, man. It's been good for me. So I'm not going to lie to you when I say, like, I did not want to do this. It took everything I had to do this. But I've gotten to a point where I'm comfortable doing it now, and I enjoy it, you know? And I just want God to lead this, to lead me through this. That's the main thing. Like, I don't ever want to get to a point where I'm doing it for views or doing it for anything besides to get it out there and help someone, dude. And expose this, showing people that it's real. But yeah, man, I hope everyone has a good day, and don't let other people affect you, man. Affect who you are. Don't let other people tell you who you are. The reason that things like this happen is because they see something in you that they don't have. Like, you could be at work, and just the way you dress, the way you take care of yourself, and the way that you don't talk with everyone and be a part of the crowd, and you make it like known that you're holding yourself back through people trying to come and like be friends with you, and like you pull back, they can see that and they don't like it. And it's because they know that as you're sitting back being quiet and not, that you can see through their bull crap. You can see that all they do is gossip, talk crap on the next guy or girl, and just do things to bring other people down to make themselves feel it's high school, it's drama. Like, they know you can see through that. And they take it as you're looking at them like you're better than them. And that's not it at all. When really, we're here just to get a paycheck, provide for our families if we can, and go home. Like, that's it. I'm not here to make friends, dude. And if you have a problem with that, that's on you. I'm sorry. It's not my job to talk to you and be friends and whatever. Now, does that mean that I'm going to be rude? No. Anyone like me? No. But at the same time, people like me are just fine being alone, especially when we see what type of people we're working with. A bunch of little high schoolers that just talk crap, drama, and do little games to bed. Like, I'm good on that, dude. I don't need to do that to have fulfillment in my life. And I don't want to hang out with people that are like that. I don't even want to talk to you. I'll respect you when like you come up to me, but I'm gonna make it known like we're not gonna be friends. And I'm not gonna say that, you're just gonna be able to feel it. And that's how, if you're like me, you understand what I'm saying. But I leave this all with you in the name of Jesus Christ, man. And you guys have a good day.